Before we get started, I just want you guys to know that the clips you see in the background are just various clips of kits that I put together to give you guys an idea of what each one looks like. Also, the editing is a little wonky in this video because the face blur was also being wonky, so if you see like a reload stop halfway through, you know why. So, plate carriers, chest rigs, load bearing belts, which one's good for us civilians and applicable to you? You want to ask yourself what quote unquote role you're trying to fill. What is it that you want when it comes to gear, and what is it that you think you'll need this for? So, what is a plate carrier? It's just that, a carrier that is meant to hold ballistic plates. In my opinion, a plate carrier is built towards an assaulting type of ordeal, whether it be a special operations raid or frontline infantry combat that you see happening in Ukraine, or anything in between. You're using a plate carrier because you know there's imminent threat around you. You know you're in a danger area, and you want the capabilities of protecting yourself from enemy fire. Because of that role, plate carriers are not really meant to be your sustainment platforms. You can carry some sustainment on them, obviously, like some food and water, but once you overload the plate carrier, it starts to work against you and its purpose. Too much weight can reduce your speed, increase fatigue, and limit your mobility when you need it most. Now, when you are looking for a plate carrier, how you set it up is really up to you. Like I said, you need to ask yourself, what are you using this plate carrier for? If you go on Google, you'll see a bunch of plate carrier setups, and they all kind of look the same, even on Instagram setups. You know, 3 mags in the front, some medical, and whatever type of mission critical stuff they have on it, for lack of better terms. But you don't see any sustainment, you don't see water, you don't see food, or anything like that. And if you have such little on you, you're not going to do well, because think about those setups. Those are for dudes who are assaulting with a bunch of other dudes with them, who get picked up in a vehicle and head back to base or head back to wherever they're operating from, and get the essentials that they need there. Not We don't have that luxury as civilians. So if you carry a backpack with that stuff, that's great, but still, you're not going to perform that well when you need it most, when you're rocking 5 mags total and no water. Like, that's a big one. I know I've said it before, but like, you see these kits and there's no sustainment on them at all, and it's like, what are you gonna do with that? So, chest rig. What's a chest rig? Essentially, it's a rig that does the same thing as a plate carrier, minus the ballistic capability. Obviously, it doesn't hold plates, and this is kind of catered towards mobility. You're lightweight. You're not being weighed down by armor. Armor's not that heavy, but yeah, you're not being weighed down by armor. It's catered towards mobility. People think of chest rigs kind of like reconnaissance type of ordeal. That's why the whole lightweight comes in, because you want to be lightweight when you're doing that type of stuff. When it comes to the role of a chest rig, it really is user dependent, because you can use a chest rig with no armor, or you can use a chest rig over armor. And like I said, it kind of depends on what you want your role to be and what you want as the end user. But in my opinion, a chest rig gives you more freedom of choice. If you don't want to wear armor, you have the option to do that. You don't limit your performance, you just limit your protection. If you do want to wear armor, you can do that. Now you just weigh a little more. Again, that's why I like the chest rig setup, because you have the freedom of choice, like I mentioned earlier. Now, another piece of gear that is most often overlooked is load bearing belts, or load bearing equipment. And load bearing equipment has been around forever. Like, you have the Alice kit. I know the Soviets back in the day had their own version of load bearing equipment. A lot of like the British had their own version of load bearing equipment, and there's popular ones out there on the market. Like, the one that I wanted before I ended up with the one that you see in the video was the DZ rig, and it can carry a lot of stuff. It can carry more than a combat load of ammunition. It can carry food, water, admin, all that, and literally it just sits on your hips, and you are more lightweight, in my opinion, than a chest rig. And that may be subjective, honestly, and might not be entirely true. It might perform the same, but you know, you can go into the prone easier. It's more comfortable, in my opinion. And if you buy them outright, like if you buy them pre-set up, they're kind of expensive. Like the DZ one that I mentioned is about like $400, but the one that you see in the video, I spent in total maybe $100 because I also had an extra piece of kit. So maybe I'd say like $140. You can go on Venture Surplus, get the marine belt that you see here, and all the accessories you want to put on it for, like I said, around $130, $150 to be generous. What is a load bearing belt though? What is it? It's a belt that it's just that. I'm fumbling over my words a little bit, but it's a belt that carries all that you need, the same as a chest rig, the same as a plate carrier, except a different version. But all the ones you typically see, if you were to look it up, they carry a lot. Like you can carry more than a combat load of ammunition. You can plus your water, plus your food, plus your admin, plus mission essential equipment. Like the DZ rig I mentioned earlier can carry a lot of stuff. So which one is right for you? I personally don't know. I wouldn't know which one's right for you because I don't know your situation. All these pieces of kit have their pros and their cons about them. One works better in one aspect than the other, and the other works better in one aspect than the other. But it depends what you think you need it for. If you were to ask me, I believe that if you go with a chest rig, you're fine. I feel like it's good to start out with some type of chest rig because they're cost effective depending on where you get it from. Like, yeah, you can spend big money on the chest rig, but you don't need to. Like, you can get issued army taps for like $50 and then spend another $50 to $60 to get some pouches and you're golden. So, like I said, like $100, you're golden. Now, whichever you pick, you're not going to go wrong because, you know, they all basically do the same thing. But if you're anything like me, you're going to buy one, train with it, and then you're just going to go get the other piece of kit. Like I have all three: plate carrier with belt, chest rig with belt, the load bearing belt. So just pick one, train with it, and then go off that. So which one do I prefer? I definitely prefer the chest rig and load bearing setup. Because think of it as the Army's cold weather system. You can take off or you can put on what you need, and you can layer and layer it, or you can take off what you don't need. It's the same concept, in my opinion. I can wear my chest rig if I just want my chest rig. I can plus that with the load bearing belt and have more sustainment, more ammunition, and I can plus both those with armor, a slick carrier. So I like that because it gives me, the end user, the freedom of choice. If I want armor, I can go with armor. If I don't want armor, I don't need armor. If I don't need the belt, I don't need the belt. If I don't want to use the chest rig and I just want to use the belt, I can do that. It gives me the freedom of choice as to where if you get a plate carrier and you build it, you're stuck with that build unless you buy more accessories for it and you take everything off and you rebuild it. As to where you can build the chest rig the way you want, you can build the belt the way you want, and then you can just run a slick carrier, and then you can layer it, like I mentioned before. So that's kind of where I stand on this issue. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.